Okay, hello, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you are, and a very warm welcome to Tradeshift's full release event for September 2025. I'm your host, Alan Edwards. I'm the VP of Customer Success. I've been at Tradeshift for 7 years, and I'm joined by some excellent speakers today from our product team. So you'll hear from Daniel, you'll hear from Michelle, you'll hear from Sarah, and you'll hear from Anka. And then a little bit later on, with a look ahead, you'll hear from our Chief Product Officer, Rafi. I'll just pop the safe harbor statement up on the screen for the moment, just to let you know, because we do have some things, we're in the look ahead section with Rafi that is still under development. And obviously we just want to make sure that those things are clear for everybody. We've got a very packed agenda today. We'll talk to you about the AI developments that we've been working on and where we've come from since the last webinar we did back in June. So you'll hear about ADA 2.0 and our powered invoice coding. You'll hear about reporting and analytics app. You'll hear about our conversational AI assistants and how they've developed since the last time too. And of course, the big main topic we hear all across the spectrum at the moment is electronic invoicing compliance. So we'll update you on the latest status from Tradeshift and how we're helping to support your move towards clearance and compliance there. Just a couple of housekeeping points before we move into the main agenda. So there's a Q&A box at the bottom of Zoom where you can ask your questions, and we'll either try to answer those via the box itself, or if we've got time at the end, we'll answer live, and I'll ask the speakers the questions as we go through. And also you'll get a survey at the end of the event, and we'd be super grateful if you could take a minute or two just to fill in that feedback. Let us keep these events, moving forward with topics that are good and relevant for you guys. I'll remind you again at the end, so apologies for really tugging on that string. So without further ado, let's move into the first section, and I'll hand over for the ADA 2.0.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Sarah, and I am the product manager for the e-Invoicing payment automation. So I'm very thrilled to introduce you to our latest and most impactful update, the ADA coding 2.0. We know that our original ADA coding feature has been a powerful tool, but we also heard some of your feedbacks on where it could be better. So today we are launching a new version designed to solve those challenges and take your invoice automation to the next level. Basically, ADA coding 2.0 is a new architecture and model stack designed for higher scalability, performance, and accuracy. It's powered by decision tree algorithm, predictive modeling techniques that use a tree-like structure to determine invoice code based on various input features. So this is a significant upgrade from our previous naive bias model, which didn't perform as expected for some of our customers' scenario due to highly dependent features. So the new model trains a separate module for each company and a coding list pair. So the results are already speaking for itself. So we can look at some of the key benefits here. The updated algorithm generates the better across diverse datasets, and it can enhance the adaptability and also reduce the overfitting risks. So our new module will show some significant improvement in accuracy at the coding list level. In some cases, the accuracy can increase from 30% to 80%. And the higher accuracy on the coding list level, of course, will reduce the need for your manual intervention, which in turn streamline your process and boost the overall efficiency. We also have addressed some of our customers' feedback by fixing the specific, like the coding defects. We've enhanced the manual coding with improved user experience, including like the better ordering and the historical search for the coding list. So this new module basically is backward compatible from a functional point of view, ensuring a smooth transition. The prediction process now is very streamlined to a single API call and simplifying the integrations and reducing the complexities of consuming the services. So next slide, please. Yep. So now you can look at some of the data from our testing. On this slide, you can see the view of the data, ADA coding 2.0 performance at the buyer branch level. It shows the coding list accuracy across various lists. As you can see, the accuracy for many lists is consistently high, reaching above 90%. So this is a testament to the power of the new decision tree algorithm and its ability to handle different types of the data. That's pretty much about the ADA coding 2.0. I think our goal is to free your team from the time-consuming coding tasks and allow you to focus more on your strategic work. So it's now available, and you can test with your own data through a parallel testing strategy. So thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Sarah. Good to see the algorithm and getting updated and obviously bringing some value into the customer space based on the results we've seen so far. Okay, we'll keep moving at a clip. So over to reporting and analytics.
Thank you, Alan, and welcome everyone. During our last customer webinar, we have presented the payment predictor report in the new analytics app. A report that was enabled on seller side. And for this webinar, we would like to showcase to you the reports that are available for our buyer customers. So the new analytics app has the standard view that is enabled on the buyer side as well as on the seller side. And on top of the standard view, there's also another layer, a premium solution, that allows customers to go into designer mode and basically customize the existing dashboards and reports, as well as build new ones as per the internal business and reporting requirements. But before going into the demo and to discuss about the features that we want to showcase, just to take a step back and understand, why do we have a new analytics app? Why do we want why did we started this partnership with Amazon QuickSight? So first is data accuracy. And then second, to have this capability that allows us to manage large volumes of data in just few seconds. And third, have full visibility on the data enabled on customer side and user side with an intuitive format. So keeping in mind the usability needs. Then having a positive impact on incident management, and not just only to fix the problems that we have raised in incidents and tickets, but also to learn from these issues and implement the improvements in the new app and the new solution. And then finally have this self-service analytics approach where our customers and our users have a minimum dependency or no dependency on the data engineering team on Tradesheet side. And connected to the self-service analytics approach, there's another critical point that I would like to highlight. It's about user access, and all buyers or our buy customers have access to the new analytics app. There's one free license activated by default at master account level. This free license has a reader role attached to it. And this reader role allows the users to basically visualize the standard reporting. There's nothing to break. Only good things and only benefits we see from the testing. And also the final goal is to get the users more confident with the format, with the way it looks and feels with the embedded view and the reports that we build in QuickSight, but also to have the users confident with the data that they're seeing and that they need to use in further reporting. And the reader roles will also have access to queue, and that takes us to our next slide. Okay, so who is Q? Q is the AI assistant built by Amazon QuickSight. The nice thing about Q is that it allows the users to ask questions in natural language. So there's no prior data or complex technical knowledge required. Then the second nice thing that Q has is that it gives flexibility to the readers to change the way data is visualized. And so the users ask a question, Q will interpret that question, will provide an answer, and then the user will be able to change the graph, the type of graph, the way information is shown, and also there will be an option to download it and then include it in a separate presentation deck that will be later on used on customer side. What is also important to understand in this context, why do we want our users to be comfortable with the data and with the format of the new analytics app? Why it is important to test and also give feedback. And we're opening and we have this advice to our buyer customers because we are opening the official process for deprecation and decommissioning of Insight Center. And if we could move to the next slide. We will have a formal announcement on the 22nd of September as per the fall 2025 Q2 release calendar. How do we see, what will be the impact on customer side? We will keep Insight Center for a minimum of 12 months in a deprecated state. What does that mean? It means that any new feature or new customer requirement, improvement, will have to be handled in the new solution. So the aim with the final goal is to have one single point of truth, one single source for analytics, and that will be the new analytics app with the reports built in QuickSight. Then I think we can move to the demo. I'll share my screen. Here is what I would like to showcase to you. This is the standard view that you will see when you access the new analytics app. This is the list of the reports that have already been built. Some of them have taken over the data that is available in Insight Center as a requirement that we, as part of the deprecation and decommissioning process, we also need to ensure feature parity. And then there are these reports that are taking over data from Insight Center. And then there are other new reports that are built and will be built based on customer feedback or customer requirements in the standard view. So all customers will have access to it with the final goal of having a mature analytics solution. And then to show to you how Q works, just quickly, there are no bad or good or bad questions with Q. That's it's amazing how it works. What is important here is to understand how Q is trained and what is the source of the data that it uses to answer the questions. And basically, Q looks at the data sets that we use for our standard reporting. And it will look at the columns, metrics, and also synonyms that we provide for each of the metric included in Q. And you'll be able to see, so once you start checking it, you'll be able to see that it shares with the users the metrics that it considers, that it looks at. And then it can also have suggested questions based on the previous questions that have been asked by other users, not just the users assigned to a specific master account, but other users across the analytics. And then just to show to you here how it looks like, see, we have the metrics and we have the synonyms. If our users and our customers test and give feedback, then we also improve and learn from this feedback, and we improve the way Q works. Also, another super exciting thing about how Q is working, it is an important solution on Amazon side as well. And they are continuously improving the way the logic works and the way it performs. And once they release a new version, you will be able to see this version available and will be available in real time. Another more powerful version will be made available sometime early next year, January, February. So really excited to see how that will look like. Then going back to the presentation, I'll stop sharing. Just final point to share with you, there will be an exclusive user webinar dedicated to analytics in October. And we want to have a deep dive. We want to go through the reports to show you how questions can be answered with Q. Lots of nice things to see. We look forward to seeing you there as well. So thank you, and back to you, Alan.
Thank you, Anka. I think it's safe to say that there's a fundamental change in the way that we unlock the power of the data within the Tradeshift network. And I know a lot of customers have been asking for this kind of thing, and it's great to see us delivering against those requirements too. So book your spot for that webinar now. I'm going to take the QR code off the screen in just a second, and then we'll move ahead onto the next section, which is conversational AI.
Hello, everyone. Today we are going to talk about two things that are changing the world of accounts payable: intelligence and compliance. First, let's talk about getting you instant answers through our AI assistant that are making your work simpler. Meet Ascada, our AI assistant built right into the Tradeshift platform and also live now in Babelway. Imagine you have a question at any time, day or night. No more searching through help articles, no more waiting for support tickets. You simply ask, and Ada provides a trusted answer in seconds. Ascada is more than just a chatbot. She's designed to understand user intent, provide accurate, context-aware answers, and guide users to the right resources when needed. Her job is simple: make every interaction with Tradeshift faster, easier, and more productive. And it understands your language. We've seen questions from French, German, Spanish, Japanese, and even Fijian. A very important aspect I want to emphasize is our commitment to data security. While Ada is an advanced AI, its design has a critical safeguard. It is never trained on customer information. Since last presentation, its model and training have been updated to provide better responses, and we also have released the AI assistant for Babelway product. Now, this secure, powerful tool is live right now for all active seller accounts on Tradeshift and to all in Babelway. But instead of just telling you, let me show you, and let's take a look at a brief demo of Ascada in action. If I can share my screen. First, we'll start with the Tradeshift Ascada, and we'll put a question. A simple question like, how do I see paid invoices? And in seconds, we can expect an answer that is specific to Tradeshift, and it has reasoning to this specific question. Now, as I said, we have also capability in order to ask questions in several languages. So from now on, I will copy paste some questions as to not lose time, but I will ask a question in French related to French clearance and compliance, and the response will be comprehensive in the French language. As you can see, it gives the answer in sequence and provides a specific answer to the current status of our French clearance and compliance. If we move to the Babelway one, we have a specific AI assistant here called the AI assistant. And we can see that it has been trained with data sources specific for Babelway. And I will just give an example. If we look at which protocols can I receive a message in Babelway, this is a question specific to Babelway, and it will respond accordingly with an extensive list of features for the protocol supported. As you can see here, it highlights what Babelway middleware product does support, and it also offers resources that you can go to check more details for each and one of these highlighted features. To end, I also want to highlight the fact that it also supports complex questions. And to get one like, how do I transform an XML to PEPL-BIS tree and send it via the PEPL network? This is a complex question specific for configuration of Babelway. And you can see you get a guideline with specific step-by-step instructions on how to do that on your own. So we are moving to a self-service model based on usage of AI assistants like this. Now let's move on to our slides, and I will start talking about the next point regarding e-invoicing compliance. As you all know, this landscape is always changing, deadlines shift and rules evolve. Our job is to make you sure you are always prepared and always compliant. And for that, let's start with a common headache, suppliers that are exempt from VAT. To solve this problem more easily, we've introduced a simple but powerful tool, the VAT exception toggle. This means suppliers without a VAT number can now clearly mark themselves as exempt. The result for you is that we'll have clearer invoices, less paperwork, and much smoother international business. It's a simple configuration that removes a roadblock for global trade for these suppliers that are exempt. Now let's move to France. As you all know, the French mandate is one of the most significant in Europe, and our message to you is simple. We are ready. TradeShift is officially registered as Platform Agréé or PA. We are only one of the 49 that have reached this crucial stage. Besides that, we completed this summer the annual test, and we are live in its production system. On top of this, we have also completed interoperability tests with other PAs, formerly known as PDPs, and we are ready with trusted integration for key systems like France's Chorus Pro. And our client, the global airline Air France, is already using our platform successfully in this phase for their compliance in France. And this proves our readiness and our expertise. Please stay tuned for our coming French language webinar focused on diving deeper into the France's clearance system. Next, let's fly over to Poland, where we have a critical update from its KISEF platform. The timeline here is phased. The mandate begins February 1st, 2026 for large taxpayers, and it applies to the other smaller ones by April 1st. The Polish government has released updated specification at the end of June and has defined a testing timeline throughout the rest of this year. Starting October, the KISEF 2.0 platform will go live for testing for integrators to perform API testing, and from November will be open for all businesses for testing end-to-end. And TradeShift is there with them, building our clearance solution to ensure you are fully prepared. Finally, we can move on to Belgium. The key date here is January 1st, 2026. That's when structured invoicing becomes mandatory for all B2B transactions. The method is PEPL, with PEPL-BIS tree format being the primary one used, aligned with the European standard EN 16931. Non-compliance comes with hefty penalties, which is precisely why choosing the right partner is so critical. And TradeShift has delivered in this system for more than 10 years through Babelway. We are a certified PEPL access point, and our technology already powers the national system in both Belgium and Luxembourg. We are not just compliant, we are foundation to the region's infrastructure. In phase 2, from 2028, we will see the current continuous transaction control CTC model transition into a PEPL 5-corner framework. Unlike today's setup where invoices flow mainly between the buyer, supplier, and the tax authority, the 5-corner model introduces service providers as intermediaries, ensuring interoperability, security, and real-time reporting. Tradeshift is ahead of the curve, preparing well in advance of the mandate, like we did for France. Now let me pass it to my colleague Michelle, who will talk to you through how our middleware Babel is central to our compliance solutions. Thank you.
Thanks, Daniel. So now let's take a quick look of a new offering, I would say, that we provide for outbound invoices and e-reporting. The Babel product has been used for years by Tradeshift to support all the mapping work that we do for integration of buyers and sellers on the Tradeshift platform. The Babel app can be found either embedded within your Tradeshift account, but now we are offering it as well as a standalone solution for any of the EDI and invoicing needs you might have. Natively, Babelway supports numerous formats, numerous protocols, including PayPal that we support at more than 10 years, and that it's really important for invoicing in Belgium and in many others European countries or even countries outside of Europe. And of course, Babelway is the foundation of the PDP activity of Tradeshift. So PDP is now named PA. And this is really the place where all those exchanges will take place. The tool is really built on a self-service graphical mapping tool, as you can see on the screen. So the goal is to have something which is really easy to handle, configure, monitor for most users we have on the system. And if we look at more details about the product, we can see that currently we have more than 600 customers which rely on the standalone version of Babelway, exchanging millions of messages every day. So if you need to have some specific, I would say, and easy to put in place outbound invoicing and e-reporting solution, the Babelway offering is probably something that you would be interested to look at. Now, Alan, back to you for next steps.
Thanks, Michelle. And great to see the two parts of Tradeshift coming together to really ensure that whether your compliance requirements are big or small, Tradeshift's got you covered, basically. So good to see. Rafi, over to you for what's next.
All right, thank you, Alan. So we have again the disclaimer slide, and probably we can pass it because we are going to deal with forward-looking statement, but some of those features were already shipped along the year. So you will see the timeline. So what are the investment themes? We are pretty consistent, and we are definitely about the seamless onboarding and integration. We like integrated suppliers so they don't have to enter invoices manually. We like to onboard contingent of suppliers for our large buyers. We want to continue to be the industry-leading payable automation and compliance. So you see some of the enhancements we are doing when it comes to compliance, but you saw also some enhancements we are doing like matching or coding 2.0. This is all about automation, having straight-through processing. So the minimum, if no human intervention during the payable process. We want to provide value for our buyers and our sellers, the Ask Ada, the payment predictor for our sellers, the outbound invoice that Michelle was talking. That is also something that our buyers could use for their outbound invoicing. And you will see on the roadmap, we are heavy on AI. I think AI or the payable automation domain is just fantastic for AI. There is a lot to automate, a lot to learn. You can use machine learning or Gen AI, but like, for example, the conversational Ask Ada in the product, this is called Gen AI. But when we look at coding 2.0, this is more machine learning technology. So let's move to the next slide to have a look to the timeline and some of the features we are working on. So we are summer, fall, and we are at this period. So we just released the new reporting analytics that Anka presented. That was important. That was the #1 area of product change request across all the products of Trade-Shift. That was the number one. And we had also defects there. But at some point, you know, the way it was built in-house was not going to be scalable in terms of performance. Customer may want to add specific columns, and that was painful to modify in the back end. With QuickSight, and if you have the author license, you can modify existing dashboard, you can create your own dashboard, you can create a column, calculated fields is available into QuickSight. We demonstrated, or we show, you know, the queue functionality, which is the way, the future, I think, is when you look at a dashboard with a lot of metrics, you can ask directly question, give me the top 10 sellers using Japanese yen in this region. I mean, I'm just coming up with some question, but basically, whatever is coming to your mind, you need data points to validate or to research or to troubleshoot. You will not have to use query filters, knowing the data model. You will just ask natural question to queue, and I think we are the only one on the market in our domain, payable automation, to provide this type of functionality. Then we talked about the ADAS, so and then the matching of the coding 2.0. We are looking for beta customers. So if you are interested, if you didn't have good results on the previous invoice coding, please contact us so we can run coding 2.0 over your invoice data. I think, Alan, I'm going to switch to you. There are upcoming webinars.
Yeah, thank you, Rafi. So we've got a couple of events coming up, as you can see, and as mentioned previously by Anka particularly. So you get yourself on the QR code there for Reporting and Analytics app for our AI Vision, which is the one that we told earlier. And we'll also send out an invitation soon for Why Choose Tradeshift PA and the Story of Air France. So have a look for that invitation, as we'll send that out to our customer base shortly. I think we've got some time left. We've got about 9 minutes, I think. So great timing, guys, for some Q&A. So I will stop sharing just for a second while we go into that. And let's have a look and see some of the questions that have come in. So there's some specific questions around compliance, which we could answer in the chat if you guys want to take a look at those, or we can answer afterwards. And you, my good friend Edgar, would ask a question that never missed the opportunity. We've also got some questions that I can ask live to the presenters. So let me just get those. Yeah, I guess a question to Rafi, or in fact to Danny. What other countries are you considering to add on the compliance roadmap?
Yeah, I can answer this one. We are looking at Middle East countries. Cannot get into much detail, but there are not too many countries that are like have the critical size, you know, for our business. Otherwise, you know, we will follow all the new clearances. So there is a question on Spain. We are just like looking at, it's less complicated than PDP France for sure. Like if you look at Poland, Belgium, and Spain, they are into the normal model when it comes to clearance, and France still remain an exception. So Middle East, we are not announcing yet, you know, if we are doing something in those countries. Will be probably in the next webinar, but customers, they can ask offline question to us and we can disclose a little more.
Fantastic. Thanks, Rafi. A couple of questions, Anka, around the Insight Center coming to an end, and obviously QuickSight taking over. So will the data still be accurate for the 12 months in Insight Center, or would we recommend changing the transition now?
Yes, so we will keep Insight Center running for the next 12 months, and both solutions can be used in parallel for different reporting needs. We will continue to process the data, and also we will handle the critical incidents related to Insight Center. It is just a matter of how we look at improvements, new features. These will have to be implemented in the new analytics app. And then in terms of if there are any accuracy issues that we also see in QuickSight while we're monitoring both solutions. It's really important to get your feedback and then reach out to the CSMs and also the support team, and we'll actively look at these issues.
Fantastic. Thank you, Anka. And then the other question around that was, we only have one license at the minute. What should we do to get more licenses?
Correct. So one free license per master account. If more licenses are needed, because we have different people or a team, a dedicated BI team on customer side, then there's an option to acquire 10 extra licenses. So plus the free one, it will be 11 licenses available. That's a separate package for the standard view. And then for the premium solution, there we have a different setup. We will have readers and also authors. And then for this premium solution, we would suggest also both actually for the standard view to reach out to the CSMs and the support team if it's needed. And just to remember that for the premium solution, there's a separate setup and also a separate custom namespace where customers will be able to see their own data in 100% secure way without accessing other customers' data and vice versa. So we need our CSM team and support team to be contacted, and then we work together on these topics.
Yes, and I know for a fact that the CSM team is contacting proactively quite a lot of the buyers already in terms of that, so that's great.
Oh, okay, sounds wonderful. Yeah. Okay.
Stuff. Michelle, you look slightly bored, so I'm going to ask you a question. What do we need to do to test the solution for Belgium before January 2026?
Okay, so for testing PEPL in Belgium, probably there is two different approaches. So the first one is, anyway, you will need to export invoices from your accounting ERP system or whatever. We have two options there. Either the format is already a PEPL BIS-V3 format, which is the case for more and more accounting package, mostly the one specific for Belgium. So in that case, you can easily configure in Babelway a pass-through services for that will receive your BIS-V3 invoice and push it on the PEPL network. That's so easy as that to send outbound invoices using Babelway for PEPL. The other case is when your accounting system is creating its own proprietary format, like in CSV, XML, or even PDF. So in that case, there is a need to build a mapping, so a transformation between the format of your format and the PEPL BIS-V3 format that can be done online by most people using the drag and drop features of Babelway. And if you want to do it, I would say, in a service way, you can get in touch with your usual contact at Tradeshift. That can put you in touch with the Babelway team that can bring some consultancy, some services for you to implement the transformation between your proprietary format and the BIS-V3 format. And in both cases, you will have access to all the messages, so full visibility on historic of messages, status of delivery, and such data.
Excellent, thank you, Michelle. And then I will ask the question from Edgar. So his question in regards to compliance, and we may need to get back to him, but is there any change regarding expected e-invoicing mandate implementation in Spain for 2026? So obviously I think we have the most up-to-date information, but do we know, is it all on track?
Yeah, actually it's 27, I think. And yeah, we are absolutely, yes. We are tracking the requirements, and we'll be ready for our customers. Absolutely, Spain is a big country, like Belgium, Germany. I mean, we will deliver and support.
Okay, yeah, and I think we've seen, some of those timelines shift, but we'll obviously keep the customer base updated as things progress in Spain as well.
We are sure it's coming anyway. So they are pushing out, but the trend is it's happening. So. There is no country who has cancelled after delaying. So France is moving forward, Spain is moving forward, Belgium, and then there will be VIDA that's going to happen between 28 and 2035, and this is the harmonization of electronic invoice across all 27 countries. And I think this is going to be based on a PDP-like interoperability between countries.
Excellent. Thanks, Rafi. Yeah, so for further compliance questions, obviously keep in touch with your customer success managers, or feel free to reach out to us, and we'll certainly try and help. There are other couple of questions in the chat that were just around previous events and whether you can still get hold of those. So you can find our previous events posted up on our blog. And also, we won't share the deck from this event, but we will share the recording to the people that are registered. So we'll share a clipped version of the recording so you guys can see the content and review it as you need to. Which is my request for you guys to fill in, as you wouldn't believe, the feedback. So please do leave as much feedback as you can for these events. It really helps us keep them on track. It helps us keep them relevant for you, and making sure that you can obviously get the most out of them. And then if you do want to see further information, obviously you can see there on screen, you can see the fact that we have the knowledge base, we have our blog on Tradeshift, and you can follow us on LinkedIn and YouTube. So please do take the time to do that, and we will obviously continue to keep our content up to date and relevant. I think we're pretty much bang on time, so I will bring the webinar to a close, but I do want to thank everybody who attended for their time. We do appreciate you giving up some time to hear from us. And I do want to thank the presenters as well for clarifying and sharing such wonderful content. I wish you all a very good day, and thank you very much.